What's going on, guys? Billy here, and I am absolutely addicted to viewing and understanding analytics, so much so that I'm always checking my YouTube Creator Studio app, and I'm also always checking up on the flight logs from all of my drones. Now, DJI's app does a pretty good job at showing you each individual flight, but there is a lot of information that is stored in the flight records that isn't available through the DJI Go app. To extract this information, we're going to be using an app called Airdata. I actually stumbled across this website a couple of weeks ago when creating that walkthrough of the DJI Assistant application, and with that app, the Assistant app, you're able to download your flight records. They come out in either a .dat file or a .txt file, and if you try to open those files, it just looks like a bunch of random numbers, letters, symbols, characters, so you have to run it through some sort of computer program to actually make sense of it, and DJI offers something through their Assistant app, although it doesn't work all that well, and that's why I've turned to Airdata, but I'm glad I did because it is an amazing piece of software. So let's take a look at what it looks like. So I find the interface pretty basic here. It gives us our highest statistics at a quick glance, almost like the DJI Go app does. Something that you will notice though is that it shows much more information, like how many total photos and videos you've taken, your total log time, and your hottest battery temperature, which I find incredibly cool. For those wondering about the accuracy of this software, here's a screenshot from my DJI Go app showing that a lot of the general data is pretty spot on, although 4 of the flights were unable to sync from my iPhone to Airdata for some reason. Anyway, the data does not stop here. On the left side, we have each individual flight, and when we select one of these, it will show us some general information like the plane name, which I think is a funny word for drone. We also get our takeoff battery percentage, our landing percentage, the maximum battery temperature, and of course, we get all of the usual things like maximum speed, altitude, distance, etc. We also have this map in the center, but check this out. At the bottom is some stills of a few of the videos that I took that were actually embedded inside of the flight logs. Clicking on one of the thumbnails and then heading over to the map view shows information about each shot taken, like altitude and gimbal pitch when each video was started and when each video ended, which is some incredible information to look at. Okay, anyway, getting back on track here, along the side we can see information about our power usage, which is then broken down into efficiency, battery cells, volts and amps, and battery info. Then we have sensors, which gives us subcategories of signal map, signal score, GPS, and compass. Now next is controls, and you guys get the deal. It is broken down into these subcategories at the top, and what's even crazier is that it pulls in weather information from the Dark Sky Weather app, which is my app of choice when it comes to checking what the weather will be like. So essentially it looks at what time the flight was and then pulls in the weather data from that specific time. Now the things that I really like to look at are within the power section so that I can learn how to further preserve my battery life for future flights, and to also view other details that go more in depth than the DJI Go app about the specific battery I was using itself. I also like to look at these sensors and get a feel for how they were acting. So if I have a flight where I noticed my drone just wasn't acting right, I can come here to see if it was due to, say, the compass interference or maybe just general signal interference. Also, taking a look at some of these maps, I can get a feel for what areas will give me good signal, what areas are going to give me trouble, and essentially if I want to fly there again or if I just want to stay away from certain areas. Now, aside from looking at pure data for each flight, we can also look at combined data for each of our batteries and drones. Before I touch on these two tabs, I do want to talk about this section that is titled Drone Maintenance. As you can see, basically all of my drones and batteries require some sort of maintenance, although this isn't entirely accurate. It doesn't learn information directly from your drone as to what components might need to be replaced or need to be serviced, but instead, it gives you suggestions to replace batteries that might have a lot of airtime on them, or check over drones that have flown for more than 20 flights or have been in the air for longer than 200 minutes. While these drones don't need to be fixed by any means, I mean, I fly them basically every single day. They fly great. It is good to keep an eye on this and check on your drones after this set amount of time to ensure that there are no stress fractures or general exterior damage. Okay, so jumping back to the batteries here, you'll see that I have a crazy amount of batteries listed in this side panel, and each of them come with an overview, usage statistics, flight history, and the ability to merge two batteries together. It even determines trends based off of your usage of each battery, which I find pretty damn cool. Now, this type of data is great to look at with the battery being the main source of your drone staying airborne. You can determine things like flight time while using each battery and what the estimated life is of said battery. It's really important to be able to look at this information. So again, I would highly recommend checking out the in-depth battery statistics if you end up purchasing an Airdata subscription. Now, the final thing that I want to highlight is the drones tab, which, just like everything about this app, gives us an incredible amount of data to look at. You'll see that we can view the overview, the usage, and flight history, and it's crazy to look at an example like my Mavic 2 Pro, which I would say I've probably logged the most amount of flight time with, despite actually having it for the shortest amount of time. I've flown it for just shy of 24 hours. I've logged 138 flights, and I've flown a total of 1,271,391 feet. And look at all of these individual flights that I can look more into if I wanted. I mean, guys, this app is incredibly powerful. I would say that it is a must-have for any drone pilot. Now, you might be wondering how you get the actual data, the actual flight records off of your drone and onto the Airdata website. Well, the way I began was by plugging my iPad into my computer and downloading all of the flight records through iTunes. From there, I was uploading them in increments of 20 at a time to their website because you aren't able to just drag hundreds of flights in to be uploaded at one time. Also, by the way, if you guys try to read one of these .txt files, they use a bunch of crazy symbols, so using an app like Airdata is necessary to interpret this information. Anyway, after uploading almost 360 flights, 20 at a time, I finally found an easier solution, which is through your mobile device. It doesn't matter if you fly with an iOS device or an Android device, as this app right here, HD Sync, is available in both the App Store and the Google Play Store. Once you log into your DJI account and receive your Airdata token from the website, you can choose the amount of flights that you want to sync and then hit Sync Now. From here, it will churn out one flight after the other. It took me probably 45 minutes to an hour to upload almost 900 flights from my device, so I would suggest throwing it on the charger and forgetting about it. What's actually interesting is if you head over to Airdata's website while syncing from your mobile device, you'll notice in the top left corner, the flights begin processing, which doesn't really take all that long. Also, one quick thing to note, if you guys are interested in actually doing this, you're going to want to make sure that all of the flights on your device within the DJI Go app are current, as that's where it pulls the information from. So within the DJI Go app, we want to click on the three lines in the top right corner, head to the flight records section, and then click on the little cloud in the top right corner, select all flights, and hit Sync Now. Now, if you use other applications like, say, Ground Station Pro or Drone Deploy, you're also able to incorporate those flight logs into the Airdata website or the Airdata application. It sucks because you're not going to be able to just simply plug in your mobile device and hit Sync Now. Instead, you have to go to the respective website or the respective application, download those flight logs manually, and then upload them through your computer to the Airdata website. Again, it's kind of a bust just because I use Ground Station Pro all the time, but I do understand, and I'm happy that we have that feature to just hit Sync Now and get all the flights from our DJI Go application. Now, if you're somebody out there who is always flying drones, maybe you fly drones for a living, and you really do like looking at some of these analytics, I really could not recommend Airdata anymore. It shows you so much information about all of your batteries, your drones, your flights, and at the end of the day, I think that it is worth any price that they would charge you per month. You guys can go ahead and check out on their website for some of the more supported applications other than the DJI Go app, Drone Deploy, and Ground Station Pro, and also check out some of their pricing plans. Again, guys, you're not going to be upset with the information that they give you. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, I'll talk to you later. Peace.